freshman biology major from Baltimore, Maryland, and my speech is called What She Asking For. You are a student who has just received your first college acceptance letter, and at the bottom of that letter, there is a section dedicated to your parents. It goes something like this. To the parents of our future student, we are thrilled to welcome your child to our university this fall. We feel they have so many great gifts and talents to contribute to our school, and that will make them successful in their future careers. But we wanted to let you know that while your child was here, there's a 20% chance that they will be a victim of sexual assault, and that the perpetrator will most likely be another student. Thank you so much for your tuition money, and we look forward to welcoming your child this fall. Now, I know that wasn't exactly your Howard acceptance letter, but you know, it's all the same. We failed to realize that if the national epidemic of sexual assault on college campuses does not change, then over 100,000 students of all walks of life will become victims of these crimes within the next year. As if the problems of rape and sexual assault on their own aren't large enough, the way universities are treating these crimes are ineffective, irresponsible, and horrendous. In July of 2015 alone, over 120 colleges were under investigation for the manner in which they handled these crimes. Now, I know it's one thing to hear this statistic on TV or the internet as we go on about our day, but it's another thing to realize that it affects real people. As a junior and senior in high school, I worked as a nurse for the University of Maryland Medical Center. One of the most memorable yet sad units was the women's psychology unit. I can recall a time where I was working with a young lady about my age who was distraught due to the trauma she faced. She was raped 8 weeks into her freshman year of college and experienced PTSD and crippling anxiety that made it impossible for her to attend class. She, along with many others in similar situations, faced problems of eating disorders, flashbacks, suicidal tendencies, depression, and so much more. Naturally, when that victim is a student, their university should be the first place they can turn to report their assailant and seek help for the trauma, right? Well, unfortunately, I would consider that girl extremely lucky that she was even granted a student conduct hearing or her perpetrator was suspended, because that outcome is not a reality for many college victims. In fact, fewer than 1/3 of sexual assault cases result in expulsion. Still though, is it too much to ask to not have to see your perpetrator's face on campus? Or not to be asked specific questions that go the route of victim blaming? It's no wonder why 88% of students don't report their assault cases. And yet, around the country, we hear on a daily basis, we take these reports very seriously. If you see any paperwork about assault on college campuses, you'll see that sentence tossed around as casually as the inadequate punishments they give perpetrators. Though this may not be the university's intention, by allowing perpetrators to stay on campus, it sends a message to the student body that sexual assault cases aren't real crimes, and maybe it's the victim's fault. Well, how much did you have to drink? What were you wearing that day? Wow, that's really terrible that happened to you. But you know, maybe lay down, eat some ice cream, you'll probably feel better. Things could have been a lot worse. Would you ever in your life tell the victim of a shooting, sorry, but you were kind of asking for it by not wearing a bulletproof vest? Or maybe, that's what you get for walking on the sidewalk with a black hoodie on. Life after sexual assault can be filled with joy and true happiness, and many victims do regain a lot of the power they felt they lost in that situation. But if more than just a handful of people have the mentality that it's not the victim's fault, the healing path could look dramatically different. It is time to truly make college campuses a safe place for victims of rape and sexual assault, because 1 in 5 can and deserve to thrive.